From the UNTV News and Rescue Command Center in Quezon City, this is Y News.
Tonight on Y News. Copra farmers' future hangs in a balance following the mass resignation of coconut industry executives and plant managers. Manila airport authorities begin the process of refunding the terminal fees to overseas Filipino workers. And the Department of Health and its partner agencies sign administrative order streamlining access to medical assistance funds. Good evening. The future of hundreds of copra farmers now hangs in a balance following the mass resignation of the Board of Directors of the Coconut Industry Investment Fund. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
Over 2,000 copra farmers are facing uncertain future after the shutdown of 3 large oil mills in the country. This after plant managers joined in the mass resignation of the Board of Directors of the Coconut Industry Investment Fund Oil Mills Group or CIIF-OMG on Thursday. The mass resignation was prompted after Malacanang nominated Rheena as the new President and Chief Executive Officer of the CIIF despite the board's opposition over issues of corruption. Last July 10, 5 members of the board filed a case against Lao for his alleged unauthorized claim of being president of the CIIF-OMG and also for not submitting a statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth or SALN. The complainants insisted that they are no longer at ease working with Lao, citing issues of irregularities which they believe are violations of President Rodrigo Duterte's anti-corruption campaign.
Sabi ko, sir, kung ganyan, sir, na ipipilit ninyo si Mr. Lao sa amin, magre-resign ako. So, sumunod naman si President Lor, sumunod ang mga directors, ayaw na talaga namin makasama si Mr. Lao.
The mass resignation has resulted in uncertainty in the operations of 3 giant oil mills in the country. These are the Gran Export Manufacturing Corporation in Iligan City, the Legazpi Oil Company Incorporated in Bicol, and the San Pablo Manufacturing Corporation in Laguna. The shutdown would incur a huge loss in the daily operation income of the oil mills that would certainly affect the salary of workers.
Because most of the people we have in the field are regular employees, so when we have a shutdown, the company has to keep on paying them. For every day of shutdown, we are losing mga like that 400,000 per day.
With the current crisis, the copra farmers are left without a choice but to lower their price. If not immediately addressed, the Lima warns the situation would also affect the production of cooking oil and the country's exportation of crude coconut oil. The Philippine Coconut Authority meanwhile assures assistance for the affected farmers.
We will facilitate linking the farmers to the millers na para makabenta sila ng diretso at makakuha sila ng magandang presyo.
Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
Overseas Filipino workers now have the chance to refund the 550 peso terminal fee that was incorporated on their plane tickets at the office of Manila International Airport Authority in Pasay City. Joan Nano tells us why.
The Manila International Airport Authority have begun the process of refunding the 550 pesos terminal fee that was integrated into the cost of the airline tickets. The refund, which covers OFW travels from August 2012 to April 2018, is in line with the agreement signed in March 2017 by the Department of Transportation and 40 airline companies operating at Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The agreement emphasized exemptions of OFW in paying the terminal fee in recognition of their sacrifices and contributions to the improvement of the country's economy through dollar remittances. Refund is available for OFWs at the lobby of MIAA office from Mondays to Fridays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. except for holidays. They are advised to bring a copy of the plane ticket with locator code and a valid identification document such as a passport. Aside from OFWs, airline passengers whose flight were cancelled may also avail of a refund.
Dahil may mga pagkakataon ng mga pasahero ay hindi nakakaalis, nag-expire ang ticket, at for some reason nagkansela sila at nung hindi na pwedeng gamitin. So ito dapat isusoli natin sa pasahero yung mga taxes na yon kasi hindi ho sila gumamit ng ating paliparan.
The MIAA, however, notes some problems because so far, only 6 airlines have remitted terminal fees to their office. These are Cebu Pacific, Cathay Pacific, KLM Airlines, Kuwait, Singapore, and Ethiopian Airlines. Also, some of the airline companies have not yet submitted the list of passengers who qualify for the refund.
Kasi hindi naman pwede natin ibigay yung pera na wala tayong pagbabasihan na confirm talaga na hindi pa nila na-refund.
It was in February 2015 when the previous administration imposed a collection of the terminal fee. Since then, according to MIAA, the terminal fee collected has reached 2 billion pesos. However, only half of the said amount was refunded to OFWs. Monreal assures the public that the collected fee remains intact in the NAIA's General Fund and will not be used in any anomalous transaction. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
President Rodrigo Duterte appoints Justice Undersecretary Antonio Co as the new commissioner of the Commission on Elections. This was confirmed by Special Assistant to the President's Secretary Christopher Bongo earlier. Co is a bar top-notcher from San Beda College of Law and is President Duterte's fraternity brother. With his appointment, Co now completes the 7-man commission. Meanwhile, the process in getting medical assistance fund from the government will soon become easier for the Filipinos following the signing of the administrative order by the Department of Health and its partner agencies. Here's why from JL Asayo.
The Department of Health, Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, and Department of Social Welfare and Development today signed a joint administrative order that will make it more convenient for the Filipinos to avail medical assistance funds from the government. Under the initiative, dubbed as Malasakit Center, patients will no longer need to file separate applications to obtain support from the PCSO and DOH. This is because a one-stop shop will be established, housing various government agencies to streamline the availment of funding assistance if patients admitted in service accommodations. The project also aims to help facilitate and streamline medical financial assistance and government process to those who need the most.
Maximum pwede, depende pa rin sa sakit. Kung hanggang 1 million sa renal transplant, sa cancer, different types of cancers, meron mga 250 to about 500,000 pesos.
Project guidelines also provide that funds for medical costs will come from PhilHealth, PCSO, DOH assistance for indigent medical patients, and healthcare providers for those in non-private sectors. Non-medical costs like transportation will be shouldered by the DSWD. Because of this AO, PhilHealth will be given more chance to extend and strengthen its program for the members.
PhilHealth is now paying for almost, as of May, almost 40 billion in benefit payment alone. But we realize that this is not sufficient. A patient still goes home and still pays out of pocket. And if you are poor, where would you get your money?
The AO also hopes that the promise of no balance billing will be fully realized and that as much as possible, the indigent patients will pay only a small amount to zero. The Malasakit program was conceived in response to President Rodrigo Duterte's desire to help the poor who are in need of medical attention. JL Asayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government remains confident of achieving its target to reopen the Boracay Island sometime in October. This is amid complaints from the locals against the ongoing road expansion in the island. Here's why from Grace Casin.
The government continues to implement changes in the Boracay Island since its closure to tourists last May. According to Interior and Local Government Undersecretary Epemaco Densing, the island looks cleaner and different now when compared to its pre-rehabilitation phase. Densing notes the road expansion and construction of drainage system are also underway, making them feel more positive of achieving their target to reopen the island on October 26.
For the road expansion program and drainage upgrade, as of 3 weeks ago, 95% of the road is ready for the road cementing and the drainage upgrade.
But locals in the island seem to have an opposite perspective on the matter, pointing out the slow process in completing the projects.
Mabuhayan ba siguro siyempre medyo gamay ang gano'n kaya trabaho.
Subok ginaobra nila dito.
Ang ba, karsada sa aga-akad pa lang.
USEC Dancing, however, remains optimistic that the locals will soon see and feel the improvements they are implementing on the island. The Boracay Interagency Council is set to meet on July 25 to conduct assessment on the rehabilitations made so far. They will also discuss the time on when to allow travel agencies to accept bookings in preparation for the island's reopening. The authorities are also looking to limit the number of tourists that may enter and stay, as well as the construction of buildings in the island. Grace Casid, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Philippine Navy displays skills in sea maneuvering and moving surface landing during the sea phase drill in the ongoing Rim of the Pacific Exercises 2018 in Hawaii. RJ Alavaso tells us why.
2 Philippine Navy frigates deployed for this year's Rim of the Pacific exercises sailed out of the Pearl Harbor in Hawaii on Wednesday, along with the other international naval vessels to participate in the so-called force integration phase of the naval maneuvers. The BRP Andres Bonifacio and BRP Davao del Sur will travel to the area where various naval maneuvers and pre-play exercises will be conducted. On board, the 2 Philippine naval ships are more than 500 Marine contingent participating for the first time in the said multilateral naval drill. The team is set to display skills in moving surface landing and exercise their ability to operate at the task force level and to operate the robust command and control setting with the other nations.
To achieve yung level of interoperability, we should be able to work with partners, with allies.
The exercise would also help the naval officers determine if the procedure and protocol they are using are corresponding with the international standards.
Dapat marunong ka mag-land sa moving surface. So yun yung pinapakita namin sa kanila. Our skill how to land on a moving surface and syempre yung capability ng helicopter natin.
Filipino contingents also aim to show in joining this drill the Philippine preparedness to help and take part in implementing maritime security. The Philippine Marines will hold the actual landing, amphibious operations, and live ammunition firing exercises next week. RJ Alabazo, UNTV News and Rescue, Hawaii, USA.
The search is now on for the next outstanding young men honorees whose work have contributed to the positive changes in the country. Here's why from Leslie Longboan.
The Junior Chamber International Philippines teams up with different organizations for this year's search for the Outstanding Young Men awardees. The group is looking for young active citizens whose works have resulted to positive changes in the nation.
These extraordinary individuals are individuals who has done something and did that extra step to make the society better.
The award-giving body aims to share stories of inspiration to Filipinos. Among TOYM's former awardees are attorney Maria Antoinette Velasco Aliones, film director Carlos Sigyon Rheena, and police senior inspector Ligaya Lumuntad.
What makes her different sa akin? And then from there, you can fill the gap to be an excellent individual and to be a TOYM potential awardee also.
Nominations are open until July 31 for individuals aged 18 to 40. Forms are available for downloading in their website toym.jci.org.ph. Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasig City.
Up next on Y News. Police now hunting for the source of the banners declaring Philippines as a province of China, calling it an offensive gimmick. And Senate and Judiciary cagers optimize stamina as they prepare to clash with PNP and Ombudsman in the opening of the UNTV Cup's off-season playoffs on Sunday. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of Y News. More reasons behind the stories with Angelo Castro III and William Thio after this quick break. I'm Rheena Villamor-Camara. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up from where Rheena Villamor-Camara left off. I'm Angelo Castro III, and here are the headlines. The DILG reports that over 180 local officials have been stripped of police powers under the Duterte administration. Supreme Court Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio to formally decline nomination to the top judicial post. And President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Leni Robredo remain as the most trusted among the government's top officials, according to the survey of Pulse Asia. Good evening. The family of slain 13 Martires Vice Mayor Alexander Lubigan is hoping for a speedy resolution to the murder case as they prepare to bury his remains on Sunday. Victor Cosare will tell us why.
The kin of Vice Mayor Alexander Lubigan felt a surge of hope upon hearing about the news of the recovered vehicle said to have been used by the killers of the 13 Martires city official. It was on Wednesday when police found an abandoned pickup truck perched precariously on the side of a bridge in Maragondon, Cavite. It was then brought to the Maragondon police station to be processed and to find clues on the possible identity of the assailants. And though authorities are yet to catch any suspects, the Lubigan family hopes this case will immediately be resolved.
Ang tanging hiling lang namin ay nawa ay maging tuloy-tuloy para makamit po namin yung hustisya. Dahil ang kaso pong ito ay maraming sinisilbihan ng inspirasyon sa mga mamamayan namin. At mahuli na po kung sino yung mga mastermind or masterminds ng gumawang karumal-dumal na krimen sa kapatid ko.
The family also calls on President Rodrigo Duterte to bring the killers of Lubigan to justice.
Nawa, President, tulungan niyo rin po kami na mapabilis ito, lalo na dahil inspirasyon po ang sitwasyon na ito sa maraming tao po dito sa amin. At sa mga tao po sa ibang sulok ng ating bansa na nawawalan ng tiwala sa hustisya.
The camp of 13 Martires Mayor Melandres de Sagun meanwhile appeals to the PNP to also look into other possible motives behind the murder of Lubigan. The police earlier said it is looking at a political angle since the assassination took place a day after Lubigan announced his plan to run for a higher position.
We are not discounting the possibilities that it might be politics, but we urge the proper authorities to please see the different angle because there might some other people who wanted to trying to twist the situations by blaming the administrations.
The remains of Lubigan will be laid to rest on Sunday. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Over 180 local officials have been stripped of supervisory powers over the police in their areas of jurisdiction since President Rodrigo Duterte came into office. Bernard Dadis explains why.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government reports that 186 local officials had been deprived of police authority in their jurisdictions since President Rodrigo Duterte assumed office. DILG officer in charge Eduardo Año explained in a statement that the move is due to the involvement of the said officials in illegal drug trade and failure to curb terrorist activities in their areas. From the said number, 8 were governors while 178 were city and municipal mayors. Meanwhile, 10 local executives had been killed so far under the Duterte administration, 3 of whom have established links in the illegal drug trade. DILG Undersecretary Epemaco Densing says that based on their investigation, the common reasons for crimes against local officials are politics, business, and love triangle. Densing suspects that some criminals are taking advantage of the government's war on drugs to divert public sentiments and attention.
Parang may sumasakay na, pagkakataon na natin itong patayin yung ating kalaban kasi may namatay doon para i-link ko na kunwari base sa drugs. But for the information of everybody, prior to the killing of Mayor Halili, of the 10 LCEs that were killed in the past 2 years, 3 lang po ang merong koneksyon sa illegal na droga.
To date, a total of 156 local officials had been suspended or dismissed for charges of grave misconduct, serious dishonesty, neglect of duty, abuse of authority, and other irregularities. The DILG says this proves the effectiveness of the agency's measures in line with President Duterte's campaign against errant and corrupt public officials. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Supreme Court Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio reiterates his decision to decline the nomination to the top judicial post, while a judges group recommends Court Administrator Matthysse Marquez as SC Associate Justice. Let's find out why from my Bermudez.
Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio maintains he's not interested to become the next top magistrate of the Supreme Court. Carpio is set to write a letter to formally reject the nomination as the Judicial and Bar Council processes the applications for the next Chief Justice. Last month, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines endorsed Carpio as Maria Lourdes Sereno's replacement. But Carpio has publicly manifested against the offer to lead the judiciary, citing his dissension to the majority ruling on the ouster of Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno through the Quo Warranto proceedings.
No, because I will not be included in the list, because only those who accept in writing will be included in the list.
Carpio was automatically included in the list of those who will vie for the position with Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco Jr., Teresita de Castro, Diosdado Peralta, and Lucas Bersamin due to seniority. Meanwhile, the Philippine Judges Association recommends to President Rodrigo Duterte Supreme Court Administrator Matthysse Marquez as replacement of Associate Justice Presbitero Velasco Jr., who is set to retire on August 8. In a letter to the President, the association said that Marquez possesses the necessary qualifications and experience, having been in the service of the Supreme Court for almost 3 decades. The recommendation is amid allegations of questionable disbursements by Marquez for an SC project that was jointly funded by the World Bank and the Philippine government. Marquez has already responded to the complaint filed by Riza Joy Laurea, calling the accusations as baseless and recycled. Marquez is included in the short list of candidates submitted by the Judicial and Bar Council together with Court of Appeals Associate Justices Jose Reyes Jr., Apolinario Bruselas Jr., Rosmarie Declaro Carandang, Ramon Hernando, Ramon Garcia, and Amy Lazaro Javier, as well as former Ateneo College of Law Dean Cesar Villanueva. The President has 90 days to choose the person fit for the positions. My Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
The Philippine National Police deploy intelligence operatives to track the persons behind what they call as insulting banners that were hanged in various areas in Metro Manila, promoting the Philippines as a province of China. Durana assures that those responsible for the said offensive gimmick will be charged in court for tainting the image of the government.
Sino ba sila? Ano kanilang mga alliances, no? Whether it's political or geopolitical, nitingnan po natin yan. So personalities, their alliances, and of course their motives. Ano ba yung mga motibo nila? What are they trying to achieve, no?
President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Leni Robredo remain as the most trusted among government top officials according to the survey of Pulse Asia. Let's find out why from Nel Maribuhok.
Amid the controversies and criticisms that the Duterte administration is drawing, majority of Filipinos still trust President Rodrigo Duterte. According to the mid-year survey of the Pulse Asia, Duterte's trust rating surged to 87% in June from 79% in March. His approval rating also went up to 88% from 80% in the same period. Vice President Leni Robredo's approval rating also increased to 62% from 55%, while her trust ratings went up to 56% from 53%. Malacanang in a statement said it welcomed the results and that the president views the latest poll with humility, though he is not leading the country for the sake of ratings. But some Filipinos who were interviewed by the UNTV News and Rescue team expressed varying opinion on the performance of the current administration.
Tingin ko okay naman eh. Maganda naman pero may parang sumusobra rin minsan.
Unti-unti nagbabago yung ating bayan. Yung katulad sa illegal na droga.
In the last 2 years, honestly, hindi ko pa nakikita yung masasabi mong fruitful na accomplishment ni President Duterte mula foreign policy maging just within the country.
Nabawasan yung mga gawain ng mga tao na hindi maganda.
Meanwhile, former Senate President Aquilino Pimentel III also gained significant approval and trust ratings at 72% and 64% respectively. House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez approval and trust ratings are also boosted at 47% and 45% respectively, while ousted Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno saw a dip in her trust rating from 22 to 19%. As a whole, the Senate also gained higher ratings, followed by the House and the High Court. The survey was conducted last June 15 to 21, 2018 to 1,800 registered voters. This is amid the issues on SC affirmation of its decision to oust former CJ Sereno, the alleged contradictory statements of President Duterte and the Foreign Affairs Secretary regarding the situation in the West Philippine Sea, and the arrest of more than 7,000 loiterers in Metro Manila. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
And for our controversial personality in focus, political activist Carlos Celdran talks about the Duterte administration and what would make him stop criticizing the government. Let's learn about the reasons behind his tirades in Charlie Barredo's report.
Controversial political activist, performance artist, and tour guide on the side, Carlos Celdran, continues to disagree and criticize the past and current administration. His recent tirades targeted the Duterte administration, opposing the policy of government on the West Philippine Sea, the Marcos burial as being only a taste of the Duterte administration, and the spate of alleged drug killings that left thousands dead.
When a president says kill, kill, subconsciously in a nation, especially one that does not have self-actualization like us, you will see that kill, kill. And that's exactly what's happening.
Celdran notes that the Duterte administration is a reactionary government with no solid economic and social planning.
This is a man without a plan. This is a man with no empathy or true understanding of the world that's around him. And that just only proves that he's unfit to be the president of the Philippines.
The government's Build, Build, Build program, Celdran adds, built nothing in the president's 2 years in office. And the plan to exchange the Constitution into a federal form of government means only to extend terms of office.
I think what they really want is to create federalism in the system of having the opportunity to create 7,107 islands with 7,107 dictators.
Your God is stupid.
Celdran, like Duterte, is no stranger to attacking the Catholic Church. It can be recalled that Celdran also had a fit with the Catholic Church, flashing a placard of Damaso during an ongoing mass. Damaso is a character in the novel of Jose Rizal as a controversial and corrupt priest during the Spanish Catholic era.
I do believe in humanism. I do believe that all of us should be given a choice whether to believe in a God or not. And that there's a proper forum for it, and there's a proper context. To say something like this in the ribbon cutting of some institution somewhere is just pure madness.
Celdran sees only one way for him to stop criticizing the government.
The second they do something good, yeah, I'll stop.
But until that happens, according to Celdran, he encourages action not just on social media.
You gotta show resistance in real life now. You can't show resistance anymore online.
Democracy, Celdran believes, must accept criticisms and listen to the different voices of the people, not silence them.
First, they came for the journalists. Then they came for the poor. They went for the priests, and now they're gonna come for you. This could probably be my last interview with you. Who knows?
Charlie Barredo, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Senate Sentinels and the Judiciary Matthysse are thoroughly preparing for the anticipated off-season playoffs of the UNTV Cup Executive Face-Off, which will kickstart on Sunday. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
The UNTV Cup fans are in for an explosive match as the Executive Face-Off off-season playoffs commence on Sunday. Senate Sentinels will go against the undefeated PNP Responders in the first game to be held around 3 in the afternoon at the Pasig City Sports Center. The Senate Cagers hope to penetrate and crumble the Responders' thick wall of defense, even if the participation of the team captain Senator Joel Villanueva is uncertain as of the moment. Villanueva is currently under therapy due to his injuries, which caused him to miss several ball games. Co-captain Senator Sammy Angara admits the absence of Villanueva, who averaged 20 points per game, will be a great loss for the team.
Well, they're a fast team, no? So kailangan yung fitness namin medyo maayos. Yung iba sa amin, alam niyo naman, medyo palapit na ng senior citizen. Kaya kailangan siguro mag-jogging ng konti to prepare fitness-wise. At saka running team talaga yan with good shooters.
Hopefully, I'll be ready on the next game. We're still positive. I think we can still beat them. Paghahandaan namin talaga. We'll give our best.
The PNP responders, meanwhile, will review the video of all games played by the Sentinels to study their tactics and curb any attempt of forcing a do-or-die game.
Tuloy-tuloy lang, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung practice namin. Kung po pwedeng madagdagan namin yung days ng practice namin, maging 3, mas maganda siguro. Kunin natin yung championship, 1 game at a time.
The Ombudsman Graftbusters, on the other hand, prepare tight defense and offense plays to thwart the big man and outside shooters of the judiciary matches. The two teams will face off in the second game on Sunday.
Mas pinatindi namin yung depensa namin. Nag-stay pa rin kami dun sa system namin. So, mas pinatatakbo namin sila sa ensayo. So, stay in good health. So, wala munang bisyo, wala muna yung maraming kaming tinanggal.
The matches likewise are upping their endurance levels to match the Graftbusters' agility. They also hope to sustain it since the Ombudsman holds the twice-to-beat advantage.
Medyo mabibilis yung Ombudsman, dapat sabayan din nila ng bilis din. At saka kailangan din namin ng aggressive sa offense at saka sa defense namin, saka sa rebound namin. Kasi minsan nakukuha na kami ng rebound eh. Kaya medyo pagkakuha nila ng rebound, tumatakbo na kagad sila.
Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News. U.S. President Donald Trump warns that British Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit plans will hit trade with U.S. And Argentinian Lucas Matthysse to defend title in his weekend bout against people's champ Manny Pacquiao in Malaysia. And those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Thio. I'm Angelo Diego Castro III. Good evening.
To complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the headlines. Over 2,000 copra farmers are facing uncertain future after the shutdown of 3 large oil mills in the country. This after plant managers joined in the mass resignation of the board of directors of the Coconut Industry Investment Fund Oil Mills Group on Thursday. The mass resignation was prompted by Malacanang's nomination of Rehan Baltlao as the new president and chief executive officer of the CIIF, despite the board's opposition over issues of corruption. The board warns that the closure of the 3 giant oil mills would incur huge losses and would also affect the income of copra farmers and mill workers. The situation could also affect the production of cooking oil and the exportation of crude coconut oil if it is not immediately addressed.
Because most of the people we have in the field are regular employees, so when we have a shutdown, the company has to keep on paying them. For every day of shutdown, we are losing mga like that, 400,000 per day.
Meanwhile, overseas Filipino workers can now claim the 550 peso terminal fee refund that was incorporated in their plane tickets at the office of the Manila International Airport Authority in Pasay City. The refund covers OFW travels from August 2012 to April 2018. This is in line with the agreement signed in March 2017 by the Department of Transportation and 40 airline companies operating at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The refund is available for OFWs at the lobby of MIAA office from Mondays to Fridays from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, except for holidays. OFW claimants are advised to bring a copy of the plane ticket with locator code and a valid identification document such as a passport. Airline passengers whose flights were canceled may also avail of a refund.
Mga pagkakataon ng mga pasahero ay hindi nakakalis, nag-expire ang ticket, at for some reason nag-cancela sila at nung hindi na pwedeng gamitin. So ito dapat isusoli natin sa pasahero yung mga taxes na yon kasi hindi ho sila gumamit ng ating paliparan.
In other news, the process in availing medical assistance fund from the government will soon become easier for the Filipinos following the signing of an administrative order by the Department of Health and its partner agencies. Under the said initiative dubbed as Malasakit Center, patients will no longer need to file separate applications to obtain support from the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, and the DOH as a one-stop shop will be established to streamline the funding assistance and government processes to those who need them most. Project guidelines also provide that funds for medical costs will come from PhilHealth, PCSO, DOH assistance for indigent medical patients, and healthcare providers for those in non-private sectors. Non-medical costs like transportation will be shouldered by the DSWD. The AO also hopes that the promise of no balance billing will be fully realized, and that is as much as possible, the indigent patients will pay only a small amount to zero.
PhilHealth is now paying for almost, as of May, almost 40 billion in benefit payment alone. But we realize that this is not sufficient. A patient still goes home and still pays out of pocket. And if you are poor, where would you get your money?
Around 186 local officials have been deprived of police authority in their areas of jurisdiction since President Rodrigo Duterte came into power. Interior and Local Government Officer in charge Eduardo Año explains this is due to the involvement of the said officials in illegal drug trade and failure to curb terrorist activities in their areas. From the said number, 8 were governors while 178 were city and municipal mayors. Meanwhile, 10 local executives have been killed so far under the Duterte administration, 3 of whom have established links in the illegal drug trade. DILG says that based on earlier investigation, the common reasons for crimes against local officials are politics, business, and a love triangle. They also suspect that some criminals are taking advantage of the government's war on drugs to divert public sentiments and attention.
Parang may sumasakay na, pagkakataon na natin itong patayin yung ating kalaban kasi may namatay doon para i-link ko na kunwari base sa drugs. But for the information of everybody, prior to the killing of Mayor Halili, of the 10 LCEs that were killed in the past 2 years, 3 lang po ang merong koneksyon sa illegal na droga or
Acting Chief Justice Antonio Carpio maintains he is not interested to become the next top magistrate of the Supreme Court. Carpio says he will write a letter to formally reject the nomination as the Judicial and Bar Council processes the applications for the next Chief Justice. Last month, the Integrated Bar of the Philippines endorsed Carpio to replace ousted Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. But Carpio declined the offer to lead the judiciary, saying he doesn't want to benefit from Sereno's misfortune and that he opposes her removal through the quo warranto proceedings. Carpio, along with 4 other SC justices, are automatically included in the list of those who will vie for the position due to seniority.
No, because I will not be included in the list, because only those who accept in writing will be included in the list.
President Rodrigo Duterte and Vice President Leni Robredo remain as the most trusted among the government top officials, according to the latest survey of Pulse Asia. Survey results show that Duterte's trust rating surged to 87% in June from 79% in March. His approval rating also went up to 88% from 80% in the same period. Vice President Leni Robredo's approval rating also increased to 62% from 55%, while her trust ratings went up to 56% from 53%. Malacanang welcomes the results, though it said in a statement that the president is not working hard to lead the country for the sake of rating. And for the news abroad, here's Annie Mancilia live from Singapore. Good evening, Annie.
Good evening, Will. President Donald Trump says the United Kingdom will probably not get a trade deal with the U.S. if the Prime Minister's Brexit plan goes ahead. Let's find out why from Jovic Bermas.
U.S. President Donald Trump expects no trade deal with the United Kingdom once the Brexit plan proceeds. In an interview with the Sun media, Trump says the British Prime Minister Theresa May's plan would probably kill the deal, as it would mean the U.S. would be dealing with the European Union instead of with the UK. Downing Street has not yet reacted to Trump's remarks. Earlier at a press conference, Trump has raised questions about whether the UK's current Brexit plan is what they voted for, as details of May's Brexit plan were published.
The people voted to break it up, so I would imagine that's what they'll do, but maybe they'll take it a little bit of a different route. So I don't know if that's what they voted for.
May responded that her new proposal for Brexit delivers what Britons voted for.
We're delivering on the vote of the British people to take back control of our money, our laws and our borders.
May has been making the case for a US free trade deal with Mr. Trump on his first UK visit as president. She says Brexit is an opportunity to create growth in the UK and US. The president and his wife were given a red carpet reception at Blenheim Palace, Oxfordshire on Thursday evening. They were at a black-tie dinner with Mrs. May as news broke of his interview with the newspaper, which said it was conducted while he was in Brussels. After it was published, White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders says the president likes and respects Prime Minister May very much, adding that he had never said anything bad about her. Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
British divers involved in the rescue of 12 boys and their football coach from a flooded cave in Thailand returned home on Friday, walking out to applause at London's Heathrow Airport. Chairman of the British Cave Rescue Council, Peter Dennis, calls the rescue effort an inspiration and paid tribute to a Thai diver who died during the operation. Diver Rick Stanton spoke about his initial excitement when he and another British diver found the 13 hungry and huddled in darkness on a bank in a partly flooded chamber about 4 kilometers inside the Tam Luang cave.
Initially, of course, excitement, relief that they were still alive. As they were coming down the slope, we were counting them till we got to 13. Unbelievable. We gave them a little bit of some extra light. They still had light. They looked in good health. But of course, when we departed, all we could think about was how we were going to get them out. And so there was relief tempered with uncertainty.
The successful international rescue operation, which ended on Tuesday, involved about 90 divers in all, 50 of them from abroad, as well as medics, ambulance drivers, and helicopter pilots to take the boys straight to the hospital in the town of Chiang Rai. Chilean fishermen are working double time to recover hundreds of thousands of salmon that escaped from a fish farm following a warning from environmentalists of it being unfit for consumption. Tito Paz tells us why.
A storm on July 6 damaged 9 enclosures at Marine Harvest Punta Redonda Center near the southern city of Calbuco, freeing at least 600,000 salmon into the wild. Local fishermen are working with Marine Harvest to recover the salmon and had captured about 30,000 by Thursday. Some of the salmon had been injected with a course of antibiotics that was incomplete at the time of their escape, making them unfit for human consumption.
Those levels of antibiotics are very high, and it can enter our system and mix in with our existing bacteria, and it could generate a resistance, which is the bigger problem.
But that threat wasn't stopping residents of Puerto Montt in southern Chile who were keen to grab the salmon at much reduced prices.
I bought 2 for 10,000 Chilean pesos.
We saw him taking the fish out, and it looked very fresh. And for that reason, I decided to buy it.
Marine Harvest said the company was randomly testing samples from the reclaimed salmon at a laboratory. Under Chilean law, the company has 30 days to recover the fish. The government also gave the company 10 days to provide more information about how the escape occurred and a contingency plan for monitoring the drugs administered to the salmon. Tito Paz, UNTV News and Rescue, Latin America.
These are the latest from around the globe. Back to you, Will.
Thank you very much, Annie Mancilia, live from Singapore. Meanwhile, People's Champ Manny Pacquiao calls his upcoming opponent, Argentinian Lucas Matthysse, an aggressive fighter, even as the latter insisted he is ready to defend his title. Maya Barquez tells us why.
Filipino boxing icon and fighting Senator Manny Pacquiao and Argentinian Lucas Matthysse appeared on a stage in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for a pre-fight news conference. Matthysse, the current World Boxing Association welterweight champion, says his team had put in more than 120 days of hard work in preparation for the fight. He is also prepared to defend his title. Pacquiao, after a 20-plus year boxing career and having briefly retired before, says he chose to fight Matthysse so that they could create a lot of action in the ring.
Right now, my focus is to the fight on Sunday and to give an inspiration to the Filipino people, and of course, the boxing fans all over the world.
Filipinos and locals in Malaysia, meanwhile, are anticipating the bout that is set to be held on Sunday, July 15. Some of them even fearlessly forecasted Pacquiao's win, citing his experience, speed, and tactics in the ring against the Argentinian knockout artist.
Siyempre, naniniwala ako na kaya-kaya talon si Matthysse dahil si Matthysse, bagamat medyo bata, malakas, ay mabagal. At sa bilis ni Manny, tingin ko hindi aabot ng 12 rounds yan.
I think Manny Pacquiao will win because he got a very fast punch.
Filipino boxing fans even felt more excited for the fight upon learning that Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte will also be joining the crowd as spectators. The Pacquiao-Matthysse bout will be held at Axiata Arena in Kuala Lumpur. Maya Barquez, UNTV News and Rescue, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
And those are the reasons behind the news July 13, 2018. On behalf of Rheena, Villamor-Camara, and Angelo Diego Castro III, I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.